Hello, this is Dan Ferrisi, Group Editor, Commercial and Security with Emerald. So happy to be joined today by Scott Wakelin, who is Global Director of Business Development with L-Acoustics. The topic of conversation is, of course, performance audio, aligning with our performance audio deep dive. We're talking to industry leaders like L-Acoustics, about the latest trends in performance audio and their real areas of strength. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining me. Always a pleasure to catch up with you.
Pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
So let's get right into it. I know we spoke about a year ago. Since last we spoke, you have been promoted to Global Director of Business Development. Simultaneously, L-Acoustics has brought on business development directors focused on categories like sports, hospitality, nightclub, others. Do you want to discuss a little bit about the importance of the restructuring across vertical segments?
Yeah, vertical markets are very much contained within the business development structure for us. Each of our vertical markets will be spearheaded by a thought leader and strategy leader. What's really important is that we bring a leadership team in with a deep depth of knowledge of each particular vertical that we're working in, so that they're able to communicate and speak the same language, and understand, ultimately the needs of our end clients. Business development for us is about end client outreach, and broadening as we begin to broaden our addressable market in various areas. We want to apply a bespoke approach to each of the sector's particular needs.
So I want to dig into exactly that, focusing on each sector's particular needs. I'd love your perspective on some of the intricacies, the uniqueness of verticals. For example, let's talk about sports versus cruise, something like that. Why is it so important for both vendors like L-Acoustics and for integrators, those who are watching this video, to be able to speak the language of the verticals they're serving, as opposed to just being generalists?
Well, actually, uh, I learned very early on working in the cruise market, that you don't call a cruise ship a boat. That was made very clear to me by a very dear friend who's one of our clients. And God bless him. Ever since he gave me that advice, I've passed that on to all of our teams as they go on board to calibrate and to tune our systems. Um, but the cruise market, is a particular challenge. You are on board with every single other service provider all at the same time, and you have to have very much a show must go on mentality in that market. It's a real challenge, especially as we approach delivery of the vessel. Whereas Stadia is very, very different. It's a very much more methodical approach, industrial sort of approach to that sector, and it's completely the other end of the spectrum. I think what ties the two together is the deadline. In both cases, the language will be very different, but there comes a point when the language is actually very similar, and that is, we must meet this deadline. And the challenges in being able to deliver in both sectors when the deadlines approaching are the same.
L-Acoustics is, of course, a recognized leader in the immersive category, and that's a segment that I've noticed getting a lot of attention lately. You want to describe how immersive can be truly transformational in particular verticals. For example, empowering worship leaders to create engrossing, mesmerizing services, or sports stadiums giving people the kind of experience they don't want to watch from home. They want to be there to immerse themselves in the experience.
Yeah, I mean, immersive is very much the buzzword at the moment, and rightly so. We are in a market now where many manufacturers are have offerings of immersive at various levels. And the engagement, obviously all of this is key. The key to all of this is engagement by the audience, and what it delivers to them, in the enhanced experience that they have from an immersive environment. Um, as L-Acoustics, we're being asked to deliver immersive in various levels. From theme park, hotel lobbies is one that I'm working on at the moment with creative environments for hotel lobbies. Nightclubs is something that we're pushing hard into. Obviously, theatre and performing arts centres, and corporate and academic facilities, and rock and roll. It's everywhere and all encompassing. And again, actually, another one for us right now is sports as well, and being able to bring sort of touchline immersive reality, and deliver that directly to the audience's earpieces with Mix Halo. So there's so many levels and so many different approaches and so many things that we can do. I think every day, every time that we bring a new client in for demonstration, new opportunities and new ways of thinking are being discovered. It's interesting when we host a demo to various market leader types that we bring in, and you can see the wheels turning in the head and the thought process starting to happen immediately. As we're going through the demonstration, you can see them starting to apply where this would fit in their particular sector. So it's really exciting to be part of that, actually.
It's exciting to be sure. As we begin to wrap up the conversation, I just want to go back to restructuring the organization across vertical segments, kind of close with where we started. L-Acoustics clearly focused on meeting end user needs, assuring outstanding outcomes across a wide variety of commercial environments. What advice would you give to our integrator and channel partner audience, the very people watching this video, about how to effectively embrace a highly verticalized approach, the kind of approach L-Acoustics is embracing?
Well, I mean, I would say a lot of this is a learning curve for me, and I think the thing I've discovered the most is that you have to tailor your efforts to each vertical's particular foibles. There isn't a one product fits all or a one approach fits all. We all manufacture products that have multiple applications, but we insist that our design teams and our business development outreach and our application engineering teams, they take every client, every vertical, and every project as a blank sheet of paper, and we design from the bottom up. It's the best way, because at some point there is going to be something that is particular to each vertical, and we can maximize that opportunity with and not take a sort of paintbrush to everything and just rinse and repeat. So definitely bespoke your approach to the vertical's own particular foibles.
Scott, I really do appreciate you taking some time to educate
Pleasure.
all of us today, including myself, about the verticalization of the AV industry and how L-Acoustics is really leaning into that approach and delivering outstanding outcomes as it always does.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
So happy to have been joined by Scott Wakelin, who is Global Director of Business Development with L-Acoustics. My name is Dan Ferrisi, Group Editor, Commercial and Security with Emerald. Please do check out the Performance Audio Deep Dive if you haven't already. It's in the May issue of Commercial Integrator plus Security Sales and Integration. And please keep your eye on commercialintegrator.com in the days and weeks ahead for more exciting thought leadership content from industry executives like Scott. Till next time, see you soon.